Hi, I'm Dave Collins. I'm a professional stand-up paddler and instructor, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit today about the basics of getting started with this sport, stand-up paddle, or stand-up paddle surfing, as it's called, SUP for short. So we've got our board here. The first thing we're going to talk about is how to carry it. Most of the boards these days come with a little indentation here, and you want to grab it down low and tuck it under your armpit like this. And this makes for easy carrying. And then we're going to go ahead and go into the water and talk about getting on the board. So generally we're going to walk into the water a little bit, plop the board down so we can set it down on its side, and then just let it loosely down deep enough so the fin doesn't hit. And generally, the first thing you want to do is sort of face into the wind or any oncoming waves. We've got a slight wind today, so we just got a little bit of chop. It's always easier to face into the chop when you're getting started. And when you've got nice, easy conditions like this where you can stand up in the water, if it's your first time on a stand-up paddleboard, one of the easier ways to start is to go ahead and just get on your knees. And, well, let's talk a little bit about the paddle first. We want to paddle the paddle. This is the power face. The face that's angled forward is the non-power face. So we always want to paddle it with this angle here. And of course, we're going to grip the grip once we start paddling. But to begin with, we're going to go ahead and start on our knees. Set the paddle down here on the deck. Try to just get centered on our knees. We'll short grip the paddle like this. And we're going to take a couple strokes. We can alternate if we start turning too much. We're going to get up a little bit of speed, and then we're going to stand up, just like this. I'm going to put the paddle down on the board, put my hands on the board, and now I stand up slowly, and I keep my knees bent. I stay low center of gravity, and I start taking some strokes. It's easier to get up on the board if you have a little bit of speed versus just getting on a still board. It's not moving at all. Okay, another more advanced way to get on the board is the following. Once you're more comfortable, you can simply have the board in deep enough water so you're not going to hit the fin on the bottom of the water again. And put one foot in the middle of the board, slightly angled, about a 45-degree angle. And what I'm going to do is just step up really quickly. I'll put my other foot just to the left of this one, and I'm going to slide that right foot off to the right more so that I'm centered on the board again. And the whole time, I'm going to go ahead and leave the paddle with the power face down flat on the water like this to give me a little bit of stability. So it looks just like this. And then I'll start stroking right away. Now we can talk a little bit about stance on the board. That's the most important thing, is you want to have a good, stable stance. So once you're able to stand on the board, this is quite a stable board. This is about a 12-foot, 31-inch board. And you want to be looking at least 30 to 31 inches and 11 to 12 feet when you're first getting started, so that you have a nice, stable board to get started on until your balance gets better. Anyway, where you want to try to be standing in the center of the board, and you can kind of tell that the bow is just slightly up and the stern is not sunk either. And then look at my feet. They're about shoulder width apart. Okay, they're about shoulder width apart, and my knees are slightly bent. Okay, this is important. My knees are slightly bent. You always want to keep your knees slightly bent. Keeps you nice and loose and centered on the board. Now the other thing is my torso is centered, okay, and it acts independently from my lower body. So if you ski at all, you're familiar with this phenomenon, or even kayaking, where the lower body from the hips down acts independently of the torso. So I can move the board back and forth slightly here is a good balance exercise while I keep my torso nice and centered, and I'm looking forward. This is the other thing you want to remember when you paddle. You want to look forward, you don't want to look down. If you look down, that's when you tend to fall. Remember, your torso or your whole body really follows what your head does a lot, you know, literally and figuratively, but where you're looking has a big influence on your balance. So you want to be looking straight ahead, and now we can start stroking, okay? But we want to have proper body English, proper position on the board from the get-go.